All right, so this week we are talking about sugar because why not? Um, who doesn't like sugar, right? Who doesn't like sugary snacks and how awesome they taste and some brownies and whatever it is? I mean, like, don't get me wrong, this girl could dive headfirst into a bag of gummy bears. But let me just tell you a little something about what sugar is actually doing to our bodies. And why we're not being told about this is kind of strange and unusual to me, yet the more research I do and the more reading I do, I kind of know why. I'm not going to go into that too much. What I'm going to tell you today is what sugar's doing to your body. Because if you don't know, you need to be in the know. And then you can make a decision on if you want to dive headfirst into gummy bears or continue eating sugar. I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. Your body doesn't need sugar. It doesn't need sugar to survive and function. However, some people get addicted to it. We'll talk about that in a different episode. So what happens? You know, we love our sugary snacks. They taste great. So here's what happens. We put them in our mouth, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, they taste so good. And our brain is like, this is awesome. I'm loving this. And then when you're eating too much of it, what happens is what we say that happens to all these little kids is they're on a sugar high. Yeah, but they're on a sugar high, and these things are being contributed to many disorders, as they're calling nowadays for children, like hyperactivity and such, but let's keep feeding them sugar. Let's not eliminate it from our diet because the doctor's going to give you medication to help that. Like I said, the decision is up to you. I'm not trying to tell you, judge you, nothing. You should be in the know of what you're eating and what it does to your body, because the more you know, the better educated you are, and the more you can change things if you choose to and have to. It all starts with food. So it goes into your body. Your brain is like jumping up and down. It's like, yeah, buddy, I'm having sugar. This is awesome. And then you just kind of swallow it, and it starts to digest. And what happens is your body is flooded with glucose, okay? So here, you know, the chemical breakdown of it is, let's see what happens to it in certain parts, like your brain. It's been known to cause Alzheimer's. Maybe people don't believe that. That's fine with me. It shuts off your hunger hormone. I know this for a fact because, yes, cake happens. Yes, birthday parties and weddings happen. If you've ever noticed, because I don't eat a whole lot of sugar anymore because, well, you know, my teeth were kind of like really bad, which can cause gum disease, which can lead to heart disease. We'll get into that another time. But what it's doing to your body from the minute you put it into your mouth until it actually is digested is absolutely insane. If you ever notice, okay, so what happens is it raises your insulin levels, right? Which blocks the production of leptin, which is the hunger hormone. So the more you're eating, it's empty calories, as some people call them, you are kind of like, I feel like I haven't eaten anything. Do you ever notice that? Like, I'll notice if I'm having something at a birthday party or whatever, because, you know, everything in moderation. Like I said, this is your decision to make. I just want to educate people. You can get mad at me. You can think I'm judging, and I'm not. People need to be in the know, and that's why I'm doing this. But so, okay, at the birthday party, the next morning or even later, I'm like starving. Literally starving, because guess what? My hunger hormones have been shut off, which then leads to what? Eating more, being obese, getting belly fat. That's why we're fat, people. Sugar is sugar, no matter what. Okay, so I already talked about the whole brain, where it's been known to cause Alzheimer's disease. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. So here, now your insulin is going, and your pancreas is like pumping. It's on double time, okay? And your cells become resistant to insulin, which puts you at risk for diabetes. This should be very, very important to you if you have diabetes in your family, whether you do or not. Right here, your pancreas, by doing this, you are manifesting yourself to become diabetic. Even more if you have diabetes in your family. It's just a known fact. It's a known fact. You guys, I honest to God, I don't go to doctors that are going to shove pills on me and do nothing for me. Okay? I go to the doctors that are going to tell me the truth. They're going to tell me from research. They're going to tell me from their own experience. And this is exactly what I've learned and researched and experienced. So then, okay, now what's going on with my liver here? Well, it's working on overtime, right? So it's working overtime to metabolize the sugar, which is probably more than you actually need, right? You shouldn't probably have more than, I'm going to go on the high end, 35, 40 grams, you should be having a lot less than that. Check the back of a can of Coke and see how much is in there. Okay? That hurts my teeth just thinking about all the sugar that's in Coke. I used to be like a crazy Coke drinker, and I stopped drinking it because I had quite a few cavities that were in places that they shouldn't be, between my teeth and lower in the gums and stuff like that. So knowing that that leads to heart disease, and I've got that in my family, I was pulling back from that. So your liver is on overtime, right? It's pumping, it's helping to metabolize the sugar, and you could come up with this non-fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is from sugar. Can you imagine? Let's just stop right here at the liver. Can you imagine? Just imagine for a second. Now, maybe you're not on medication. Maybe you are on medication. Can you imagine if just what you put in your mouth changed those things for you? I talked to someone over the weekend that absolutely has changed her life with just taking a few things out. And guess what? Sugar is one of them. Yes. It causes inflammation. It causes hardening of the arteries. It leads to obesity and diabetes. So we're in the liver now. Can raise lower your HDL, which is your good cholesterol. So then it starts to increase the production of triglycerides, which is fat that can travel from your liver to your arteries and raises your risk of heart attack and stroke. Anybody want a candy bar just yet? Look, just saying the word candy bar kind of makes me like, yes, I do want a candy bar. Moderation. If you are someone who is eating a lot of sugar every day. And trust me, I was one of those people. I grew up on sugar. I was never ever one who was like, I don't think I should have that because maybe it's bad for me. We don't know what we don't know, guys. And it really all starts with food. So that's why I was picking a battle with sugar this week, because it's like crack. The more you eat, the more you crave. Take me to Albany's, and I will go in there and I will walk out spending God knows how much, and I will feel terrible after eating it. So when you don't eat it and then all of a sudden you eat it again, you know exactly what I'm talking about here, where it turns off your hunger hormones and stuff like that. It's just, we've been taught different things that raise our cholesterol and lower our cholesterol and make our triglycerides bad, and if you were to know what they were, would you change them? So I'm just trying to educate you and let you know, like, here's what it does. And here's what we're going to talk about this week. Like, what does it do to your heart? Diseases that are caused by sugar, which I've talked about a couple of them. And sugar addictions. Yes. Look it up. It's more addicting than crack. I would never have thought that, but for some people it can be. And it can be damaging. So I know that, some people get really ticked off when I pick battles with food because maybe they don't believe me. And so you don't have to. Do your homework. I know my family gets really ticked at me when I lecture them about this. But in all honesty, the reason I'm doing it is because I care about them and I want to let them know that this is what it does to you. Then you make the decision whether you want to have it or not. Do I buy it and put it in my house? No. These cereals that we think are good, that we're giving our kids, generally have sometimes twice as much sugar in them that these kids should be having on a daily basis, not to mention other things in it. But again, some people aren't telling us these things, and we want to know why. If you think about it, I'm not going into that. If you think about it, some people are starting to put two and two together, and a lot of these doctors are coming up and letting us know, like, this is what's causing these things. It's not what we thought in the past. So I just urge you to educate yourself and look into, like, what is it that sugar's doing? Is it making my kids bounce off the wall? Is it making me have ginormous stomach bloat? Is it possibly putting me at risk for diabetes? Is it why I am overweight? Just look into it and do some homework, because I am going to let you guys know this week a little bit more about, like, hey, maybe I should eliminate a little bit of sugar, or hey, maybe I should keep an eye on how much sugar I'm eating this week because of this, that, or the other. So like I said, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. I just kind of want to let everybody know what I know about it, and I want to share it with you, and then you can make an educated decision. But I beg you guys to do research and do your homework on these things. There are so many books out there that are actually written by like doctors that have experienced some of these things and they know about them. One of them, you know, like I have a bajillion books over here, and seriously, you guys, it all starts with what we're putting in our mouth. So I know I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent there, but like I said, everything in moderation, and you're the one who makes the decision at the end of the day. But if you are concerned or, you know, wondering a couple of things about why this, that, or the other, why can't I lose weight? I'm having this, I'm doing this. Take a look at your sugar intake, and we'll go further into it, that it's not just like candy and cookies. It goes above and beyond that, because a lot of things that we eat convert into sugar like that as soon as we eat them. So again, too much of a good thing that we think is good could send everything into overdrive and put us at risk for all these things I've talked about. So we will talk about that as I talk about things that you know, what sugar does to your heart and what diseases are caused by it. So stay tuned for the rest of my negative effects that sugar has on your body. So thank you guys all for getting on. And if you know someone who like is like a gummy bear freak like I used to be, and I say this with love because, you know, I do include gummy bears every now and again, but I don't have them all the time. You know, moderation. So if you know someone who may be like, hey, I'm a little concerned about the amount of sugar you're eating, maybe you should look here and see what this is. Go ahead and share this with them, because I honestly feel that the more people know, the more educated decisions we can make about things. And with our health, dude, it comes down to what you're putting in your mouth most of the time. Okay? That's it. That's all I can say about that today. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and we're going to talk about what sugar does to your heart. Have a great day. Thank you for getting on, and I will see you tomorrow.